This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend Lisa Everetts. It's her fourth appearance overall, second in the last month and a half. We're going to be spreading some Christmas cheer by nerding out on Christmas horror movies and non-Christmas horror movies. And like usual, it will be another funny conversation. I love Lisa so much. She is awesome. And I can't wait. Yeah, it's funny. The last time she was on, she was like, I hope I'm guest number 1968 the next time I'm on. Well, unfortunately, no. 1957, the year my dad was born. Also, rest in peace, Andre Braugher. Such an underrated, fantastic actor, especially in one of my personal favorite films that he was in, Duets. I love it. Just the chemistry between him and Paul Giamatti is so poignant, so endearing, and so strange, all at the same time. The part where they're singing Try a Little Tenderness on stage is just so fantastic. I love that, and I love him in that role as Reggie the Drifter. So rest in peace, Andre Braugher. So yeah, here is my new interview with Lisa Everetts.
Hi.
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 How you doing?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, 1957. Sorry, it's not 1968.
That's okay. That's all right. I'll take the 50s. They were good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with Christmas horror, because that's where we last left off.
Is it? Okay.
First off, did you watch Bloodbeat?
I did not. I have not had a chance to watch that. No.
Oh, okay.
I will. I'll try. I will. Because, it's getting ready for Christmas, and my son's coming home tomorrow. It's been kind of crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, because, I sent you the link in DM, and, oh my god, I just want to see your reaction to it. It's so out there.
Okay. Yeah, I have to get in the right frame of mind for some of that kind of stuff, too. Like, it's not like Bloodbeat doesn't sound like an uplifting, happy, like, kind of thing. So, yeah,
No.
I don't know. Okay.
No, it's not. It's a Wonderful Life, I can tell you that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So, yeah. So I gotta be in and lately I have been kind of in that mood for some horror stuff, but yeah. Well, trying to get out of that and into a happy mood though. So.
Yeah. So what are your favorites? Like Black Christmas?
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. I saw that you interviewed the one girl from Black Christmas, Lynn.
Oh, not just once, like 9 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I tried to friend her. I would love to talk to her. I haven't listened to any interview that you've done with her, but I don't know if you've ever asked her about how they put the plastic bag over her head.
Oh yeah, that was like in my first one.
Yeah, was it? Okay. Well, okay, I missed it. So how did they do that? How did they film that scene? Because how do you not breathe and and be in that position for any length of time?
I can't even remember, but I'm sure there was a hole somewhere where she could breathe.
Yeah, there was a hole in her mouth,
yeah.
But to not move your eyes or your nose and not get how you I don't want to say steam but the plastic over her head would get moisture on it from breathing. Yeah. And so I just wondered how that was done. I don't know if my son has seen that movie. I'm going to ask him, because if he hasn't, I'm going to make him watch it with me this Christmas. So
yeah, she sent me an autographed Black Christmas ornament, and I just put it on the tree the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome! I want one.
Oh yeah, they are so cool. Yeah.
Okay.
They are so cool. I've talked to her. I've talked to Art Hindle from the movie. I've talked to the two composers of the music, Paul Zezza and Carl Zitar, as well.
Yeah, I used to be friends with Art Hindle on Facebook, but I don't know what happened to him.
I didn't like the remake of Black Christmas.
Oh, I did not see that. I have not seen it.
It's
You didn't
terrible.
like it?
Yeah, the original Lightning Never Strikes Twice, I'll tell you.
No, I don't really like any remake. There's none that I like. But Olivia de Havilland, she's on Facebook. I was friends with her. She talks a lot on her Facebook page.
Olivia Hussey.
Not Olivia de Havilland, crazy. Yeah, Olivia Hussey. Olivia de Havilland is just long gone.
Yeah.
Well, not too long, but yeah, she's gone.
She lived to like 100 or something.
She was like 101 or 2 or something when she died. But yeah, Olivia Hussey. You're right.
Yeah, Black Christmas. It was the first one, and it's a timeless classic. How about To All a Good Night?
I've never seen that.
Jennifer Runyon, the blonde that Bill Murray doesn't want to shock at the beginning of Ghostbusters. This is her first movie, and it takes place in Laurel Canyon, so there's no snow in this Christmas movie. And Harry Reams, the porn star, is in it. She didn't know he was in porn when she met him.
Okay.
And I like that one a lot. Some people told me, it's a mean-spirited slasher flick for Christmas, and I was like, yeah, but it's entertaining, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm probably the last person on the planet to like find Tubi, like, because I've just been like hooked to that for like a week now, like, because they have all these movies on there that are like obscure and, you know, TV shows and like they're in categories too. So like all the Christmas is put together and all the horrors put together, and I love it. I'm like addicted to it now, you know?
Yeah.
So there's probably some of those like that are on there that, you know, because I'm finding movies that are on there that, you know, there are movies that are that I think are Christmas that, you know, just like, you know, people say Die Hard and stuff is not a Christmas movie, but it is to a lot of people, you know. But there are other movies that take place in the winter and at Christmas, and even though they weren't meant to be a Christmas movie, I still think I consider them a Christmas movie.
How about Christmas Evil?
Christmas Evil, is that no, I haven't seen that either.
Brendan Maggart, who is Fiona Apple's father, he plays a killer Santa who hasn't got over the fact that when he was a kid he found Santa going down on his mother.
Eek! Oh, I think I probably why I missed that one. So.
Oh no, it's tastefully done. And
okay. Oh.
And so he starts killing people all these years later in a Santa Claus suit on Christmas. And it's got the legendary Rutanya Alda has a small part in it. Diane Hole, who was the mother in Pippi Longstocking and so many other movies. Bobby Lesser, who's been in so many Christmas movies. Ernest Saves Christmas, Die Hard, I can't even think what else. And I love it. The director, I reached out to him, and he finally replied me back yesterday after like 3 weeks of no response. He's having health issues, but he says, if I'm alive next year, I'll do it.
Jeez. Okay. Well, I hope he is. So that sounds kind of sad, actually. Yeah.
Because Greg had him last year, so he was connecting me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that, but it sounds like a really good cast. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I'm not even going to tell you the ending. It is a total mindfuck. You'll be like, what just happened?
Oh. Okay. Where do you find that one at? Is it on YouTube?
I used to be on YouTube. It may still be there. It's on Blu-ray. I know that too.
Okay. I still have no idea where you get to watch all these movies at. Like, you know, like where, how do you even...
I've been watching them my whole life.
I know, but you're so much younger than me. And it's like, and these movies are way before you were like, even, like old enough to, to like really like be into them, so.
Well, the Latchkey kids, we were lucky in our generation.
Yeah. See, and then I don't know what did you watch them on like HBO or
We had
um
okay. So my mom works for the cable company, so we had every channel there was. Even
oh,
before there was 700 channels, we had all the channels.
okay. Then there's the missing piece of this picture that I never got. Your
Yeah,
mom worked for the cable company. Okay, because I'm like, we didn't get HBO until like when I was in seventh grade, and so like that was
yeah,
like the early '80s. And
yeah.
so, and then all the like horror movies, scary movies, they played like after maybe 10 o'clock at night, like late.
Oh yeah.
And then there was nothing like what you're describing on regular TV. So it
Oh,
had to be cable.
oh. Get
Yeah.
this. Get this. Back in on January 2nd, 1983, it was a Sunday night, and all the kids were going back to school from Christmas the next day. Star Wars premiered that night on HBO, and so many kids like lost sleep, or they didn't go to school the next day just because they were up late watching Star Wars because it didn't premiere until like midnight.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you remember that?
Oh no,
Okay.
no, I wasn't even born yet. This was like 6 months before I was
Oh.
born. I found this out like in the last few years or so. I'm old
Okay.
enough to remember when Jedi premiered on HBO. That was Sunday, March 1st, 1987. I can remember that.
Oh my gosh. I went and saw Return of the Jedi in the movie theater and sat in the front row.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was
You
born.
know,
I was
so
born 2 weeks after that movie came out.
yeah. See, I'm much older than you, so
Yeah,
um, yeah. But you still like have seen every movie ever made, So, but it's like I
a
was
lot
like,
of them. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
I don't know if you just want to talk about horror Christmas or
well, there's a
all
couple
Christmas
more I
or
want to bring up, and then we'll move on
okay,
to
okay,
the
okay,
non-horror Christmas movies.
okay.
Have you ever seen the Dorm That Dripped Blood?
No, but I have heard of that movie. At least I've heard of it.
Yes. That
Okay.
was Daphne Zuniga's first movie, and people don't
Oh,
realize she was briefly a scream queen. She did the initiation like a couple years later, which she was the lead in. But in this movie, she's like third, fourth billing character. But it's not like a Christmas themed slasher movie, but it takes place at Christmas.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a college movie.
Okay. I like those. Did you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Storm the True Blood. Okay.
The
Yeah,
guy
I might have to
the guy who
look into
plays the
that one.
lead, he won't even get back to me to do the podcast, and he knows I want him badly.
And he's busy doing what? So
Uh,
what's his deal?
he's like a theater owner and does a lot of theater on stage and stuff like that now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he's a
okay.
thespian.
Did you ever talk to Daphne?
No, and the people have told me she's kind of bitchy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. Well then what and then what were the other ones that you were
Oh God, elves.
Oh,
Okay, this is
oh.
an obscure one. This is a PG-13 slasher movie. Uh, Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty, of all people,
Oh,
he is a guy. He spent years working at this department store in Colorado, and after he just walked out and left one day, he wants to come back for the holiday season because he really needs money, and his boss is reluctantly. Hiring him back, even though he's really mad at him. And I interviewed that boss. His name's Michael Tatlock, really nice guy. He's known Dee Wallace for years and years. And these little elf toys become alive and start killing people.
yeah. But I like Dan Haggerty. I mean, I love him. I love him.
I interviewed his niece last year.
Did you? He's one person I would like to have met.
Yeah,
I love him.
it's funny. The guy is everything you'd see on screen, warm, lovable. However, he had a much darker side to him too. He loved his booze and cocaine. He loved
Okay.
partying. He swore a lot, and if you crossed him, he would let you have it.
Well, that's what I wanted to grow up to marry. I wanted to grow up marry Grizzly Adams.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a bummer. That's well, it's a bummer that he got into like the cocaine and all that so bad. And I think that's what ended up. That's how he died.
Yeah,
Like he
unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, there was when you said about elves, the movie Curtains popped into my head for some reason with that witch on on the pond.
With
What
Lynn
I'm talking about?
Griffin.
Oh, she's in that too.
Lynn was in
Yeah.
Curtains. Oh yeah, she's the killer. She's the stand-up comedian who ends up being a killer.
Oh, I have not seen that movie in so long, but like that scene in that movie, because on the ice skating and like goes out, she goes after the
Leslie
girl.
Donaldson. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that is it. Does that take place at Christmas or is it just winter time?
it's just winter time.
Okay, because that gives it. I have it. I own that movie. I only watched it once, but I love I think Burton Cummings sings the song that is in
Yeah,
that scene.
it's a
Yeah, I
Canadian
love that
movie.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I love that song, and I think it's called "You Saved My Soul."
probably.
And, yeah,
I haven't
okay,
watched
yeah,
for a
I love
while.
that. But they play that in that scene, and I'm just like, the music is so pretty, but like this like creepy like scene is coming, and she's coming after that girl,
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe I could watch that again. Yeah,
same here.
yeah.
How about of course the timeless classic Gremlins.
Well, yeah, I've seen that a billion. I watch that every Christmas. Yep, for sure. Yep. Yeah,
Have you seen
and
the cartoon?
no,
Yeah,
there's a cartoon.
yeah, it's on Cinemax, I think. Yeah, I've seen the trailers and clips of it. It looks very faithful to the movie, but in computer animation form.
Is it new or old?
It's about 6 months old.
Oh, so they did Gremlins, redid it as a cartoon. That's a current movie. It's a current
Yes,
thing.
and they got certain
Okay.
members of the original cast playing different characters in it as guest stars and stuff.
Was Zach Galligan in it?
Yep, he played a henchman in an episode.
Oh, he's not. He's not Billy.
No, because it's the origin story of him in China.
Oh, okay. So it's not. It's a Gremlins like prequel.
It's kind of a prequel, yeah, and it's called Secrets of the Mogwai, and it's got James Hong does the voice of Mr. Wing because Key Luke is long dead, you know.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe how you can keep all these people's names. That's amazing. So,
Well,
yeah.
well, James Hong is a legend, you know. I mean, he's always been that funny Asian guy, you know.
Yeah, I know. I know who he is, but like just so many different people that are like in these movies. Like your brain is like a computer. It's like it's
It's an
amazing.
encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's for real. Okay, yeah.
And
So and then you keep everything straight, like with all the different people that you've talked to, like everything about them, and that's just amazing to be able to converse with these people,
it's amazing. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be like this if I didn't have a podcast, you know.
Yeah. But it's cool that you have the outlet for this to like channel it into because you're perfect for it. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
How about Night of the Comet?
Oh, I've seen Night of the Comet. Definitely seen it. Yeah.
I consider that Christmas.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think of other horror Christmas but I mean like Krampus. I mean, but it's not old. But I like Krampus. I didn't think I would like Krampus.
I still need
But
to see it. I mean, when it came out, my
you've never
friend
seen
was raving about
Krampus?
it. Yeah,
You've never seen Krampus?
no.
Oh my God! There's a movie out there that I just said that you've never seen. I can't even believe it.
Oh, there's many. Don't worry.
Okay. So I hit one. Okay, Krampus is to me so much like Gremlins.
Yeah,
And it's like it feels like that it feels like it's older than it is.
hmm
It's like it feels like a late 80s early 90s movie.
yeah.
And it's not that old, but I just didn't want to watch it because I just had a whole different like idea in my head of what it was going to be, but I loved it. I love Krampus.
How about the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies?
Yeah, I saw the original a long time ago. I did not know that that was Tara Buckman in it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So now it's like I have to watch it just to see her since I saw her in person,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I when I
But
when I interviewed her, she was telling me about how embarrassed she's always been of the fact that she was naked in that movie, and I said, "You don't have to be. You looked great." you know.
yeah, okay. So like I just remember when it came out at the movies because like I was a teenager then and it
Yeah.
was banned and I think they were trying to give it an X rating,
Hmm.
and it was just like this big deal of this movie because um everybody then it made people want to see it more, because when you tell people they can't see something, then they really want to see it. So I just remember the publicity around it.
Yeah.
I bet it was yeah, what
Lin-
wouldn't have
Lin-
been.
Linnea Quigley told me that she was on location filming a movie in Spain, and her agent called her and said, "Silent Night, Deadly Night, is controversial. All the angry mothers are picketing the theaters in L.A. right now."
Yeah, I believe that. So, yeah, and so it was like I knew my mother sure wasn't going to let me watch that movie. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I don't even know if it then. I don't know how it was released then at the theaters because like they were like debating on the rating on it, and so if it was rated X, that wouldn't have gotten into like regular movie theaters.
Well,
You
the
know.
first one, it made like $20 million at the box office, something like that.
Uh-huh.
TriStar was new at the time, and they had Supergirl out at the same time. That movie was a failure. It didn't make its money back, but it still did well enough. And Silent Night, Deadly Night did well enough. But then the sequels were all straight to video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was like about what, like five or six of them or something. Like the
Five,
sequel.
five.
Five? Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've seen New Year's Evil. That I mean, if that counts into Christmas and
Yes,
horror, I've seen that.
I have a New Year's Evil episode dropping on New Year's Eve with the bass player of the band Made in Japan that plays in the movie.
Yeah, isn't Grant Kramer in that movie?
Grant Kramer, Terry Copley, Kip Niven,
Rock,
Jed
Rock
Mills.
Kelly?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I've
yeah.
interviewed
It's
I've
been a long
interviewed
time.
three of those four people, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get the fourth one. Are they alive?
Well, yeah, Jed Mills is still alive, Grant Kramer's still alive, and Terry Copley's still alive.
Terry Copley um is on Facebook. I've seen her.
Yes.
She was in We Got It Made,
Yeah.
right? That's who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know she was in that movie. I don't even remember her in the movie.
Well,
It's like
you wouldn't recognize her because her hair was very 70s. It was shot in 78, I think. And
oh,
the scene where Kip Niven takes the couple's making out in the backseat of the car, right? So he takes the guy, throws him out, and then takes off with the car, and the girl is in the back seat, and then she ends up escaping.
and that's her.
That's her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool that there's Christmas horror. Like
Yeah.
there's like this whole genre of just horror movies for Christmas time. So yeah.
So
Yeah, and
getting
that's your thing. Yeah.
so getting into the non-horror, Scrooged.
I can't get. I tried to watch that for the first. I'd see pieces of it, and then years ago, I tried to watch it from beginning to end, and I just couldn't get into that movie. I don't know why. Because I love Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
I've loved it since I was 6 when it first came out on video, and then eventually
Yeah.
HBO had it on tape. Yeah, I think it's dark and just hilariously funny.
Oh, okay, okay. I just Carol Kane's in that, and yeah, maybe I haven't watched. I mean, some movies I really do have to be like in the right frame of mind, and so maybe if I'm busy and I'm doing other stuff, I'm not picking up the whole thing, so I have to like stay focused to get the whole full effect of something. So like that must be one of those. But yeah. What else, we allowed to talk about any Christmas movie, like from any decade, or
Yeah, of
just
course.
okay, okay? Because like there are movies like, okay, so on Tubi, like the movie Untamed Heart came on the other night, and
Okay.
I kind of think of that is a Christmas movie. Have you seen it?
No, I gotta tell you, I used to watch the Lifetime Movie Network Christmas TV movies that came on. There was one
Uh-huh.
that I love with Elisa Donovan called Eve's Christmas. She's this rich, oh, not rich, successful New York businesswoman who let the right guy get away like 10 years before, and she has the chance to relive it again. I didn't like the ending. I thought that she should have gone back to reality, but it becomes permanent. You know, her past becomes permanent again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so was that like similar to Untamed Heart? Is that what made you think of that movie, or?
No, it's just, I just thought that ending could have been better. But she reminds me of a female Jimmy Stewart, and It's a Wonderful Life in that movie. Just the way she
Uh,
plays it so well of bringing in the Christmas spirit on film.
yeah. You have watched It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Of course,
Okay, okay. Because I'm like, if you haven't watched that one,
you
okay.
know that Zuzu
Yeah,
loves me.
I just really love you. Yeah, I met Zuzu. Yeah. Yeah, I framed her picture actually. Yeah.
I, I
That
I'm
was pretty cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I prefer Miracle on 34th Street the most.
That's your favorite classic Christmas movie?
Yes.
Have you ever seen Holiday Affair with Janet Leigh and Robert Mitchum?
Yeah, a long time ago. I couldn't even tell you what happens.
That's one of my favorite movies, and I love Christmas in Connecticut. Love that
Hmm.
movie. I love The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant because I love him.
Oh yeah.
That's and Loretta Young. I love that. And I mean, there are a ton of old. I mean, what movie that a lot of people love that I just can't get the whole way through the movie is White Christmas.
For some reason, I knew you were gonna say that.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's an
I just
acquired taste.
is it because like I like all the end, but there's something about in the middle, and then I've seen the beginning like a zillion times, but then something happens and I just lose interest or something, and
You know,
I just
the teenage girl in that movie
which the teenage girl
in White Christmas.
at the end, like where I'm not sure who you mean.
Yeah, I forgot her name. I have to look it up. But I know a
Uh-huh.
podcast host
Uh-huh.
who did a phone number search on her and had her on her podcast a few years ago. And I was like, oh my god, you have bigger cojones than I do.
Oh, that's kind of. I don't think I had the guts to like track someone down like that. It's like
Yeah,
that could lead to trouble. Yeah.
it was Ann
Yeah.
Whitfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
No,
plays Susan.
I only know the main people. The Vera Ellen and
She
Rosemary Clooney.
she
Yeah.
plays Dean Jagger's daughter in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she's he the guy that is the like the military guy that owns
Yeah.
the inn.
Yep.
Okay.
Major Tom Weaverly.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just I don't know. There's that one, and I do love Holiday Inn. I like it.
Uh,
I like it because it's got all the different like they go through the different seasons, not just Christmas.
yeah.
And I love Meet Me in St. Louis,
Hmm.
and I kind of think of it as a Christmas movie because Judy Garland, sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" in it. Have
Hmm.
you seen Meet Me in St. Louis?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
I probably did once.
What?
What was I gonna
I
say?
love the house in that movie. I love the house, and
Uh,
Halloween. They have a Halloween scene in it too, and it starts out in the summer, but then it goes to Christmas. And my friend Mary told me about it, and I watched it. We watched it at Christmas some years ago. I like finding new movies at Christmas to watch that I've never seen before.
hmm
Like, yeah, and that's fun.
Call me
But
crazy, but I love Bad Santa.
oh, I have not. Is that Billy Bob Thornton in it?
It's
who's in that?
it's R-rated, raunchy, but it's funny as hell. I'll tell you.
Okay. Oh, I think my husband and my son saw that. Actually, I think they saw it at the movie theater.
Yeah, and the sequel is just as raunchy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw the sequel in the movie theater.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm more like like PG, like Emmett Honors Jug Band Christmas, stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of
You're very vanilla. I'm very naughty.
Yeah, you're very Rocky Road.
Yeah.
You are.
Oh, how about Santa Claus the movie?
Oh, with Dudley Moore?
Yes.
Yeah, he's an elf in it,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, you know how he got that role?
Yeah.
You know how he got that role?
No, because he was short.
He was supposed to play Richard Pryor's role in Superman 3, which had the same producers. And he dropped out at the last minute. And so they really wanted to work with him, so they thought he'd be perfect for this role because he was short. So yes, you are right on that. But because he was supposed to play Gus Gorman in Superman 3 is how he got cast.
Okay, so like the other night I watched Mickey and Maude, and I love that movie. Who's in it? I love that movie. And then with Tubi, once you watch a movie, they'll pick a movie like similar to that movie, and it'll just keep like going, And so the movie 6 weeks come on after Mickey and Maude, and that it's a tearjerker. It's so sad, And Mary Tyler Moore's in it, and Dudley Moore's in it, and so there's two more: Mary Tyler Moore and Dudley Moore. That's funny.
There's Amy Irving. Yeah, there's Amy Irving's in that.
No, that's Mickey and Maude. But the 6 weeks movie, that's Mary Tyler Moore. And it's sad, and it takes place at Christmas, and there's this whole thing with the Nutcracker. Like her daughter has leukemia, and they only know each other for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like she meets him, and it's a sad movie. But it was just on the other night. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and so it takes place through Christmas. And I haven't really watched anything with Dudley Moore in it lately, but because I love Arthur. Arthur is like one of my favorite movies.
My middle name is Arthur because of that movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
My mom loves Dudley Moore. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Arthur. Me and my mom would be like, "Don't you hate Perry's wife?" We would always.
She's the driver's ed lady and License to Drive.
That's her?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I love License to Drive.
Oh,
I love that.
That's my favorite Corey movie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie so much. It might be my favorite one too.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I do love Lucas too. I love Lucas, but
with both Coreys, that's my favorite one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's mine too. I love that movie. I haven't watched it in some years, but like I used to watch it. Like I've seen it a billion times. I love it because the kid in it. Corey Haim in that movie reminds me of my brother. He looks like my brother.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I've talked to his sister, and I've talked to a couple of his ex-girlfriends who are actresses too.
I met Corey Haim.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I met him, and it was really kind of sad. It was at the Lost Boys, reunion thing that they were doing. And him and Corey Feldman were there, and Corey Haim was he was late for everything, and the people that were there were like just saying how he was laying out in the grass in the yard, and he was just kind of a mess, and it wasn't long before he died. So it's like I felt like bad. I wanted to adopt him. I may have said that before. It's like, but anyway, okay. So the movie, the movie Untamed Heart that has Christian Slater in it. There's another movie that came on after. It's called Bed of Roses, and that is like my movie that I put out here at the bed and breakfast all the time because the main character, who's Mary Stuart Masterson, I think is in it. That's her. Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
And and Christian Slater's in that, and it takes place at Christmas. And the house in the movie looks like my house, my bed and breakfast house. And her name is Lisa, and she's from Pittsburgh, and she loves Purple Roses, and I'm like, I can relate to that movie, So I don't know if have you ever seen it?
No.
You never saw Bed of Roses? Oh my gosh, watch Bed of Roses. I love that movie.
I remember when it came out, but I just don't remember watching it.
Oh, I love that movie so much. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So there's like movies. It's like takes place at Christmas, and there's movies like that, like The Family Stone. Movies that are like family. At Christmas, going home for Christmas. But I like those kind of movies too.
Yeah.
But then I like movies that just even take place in there's snow and yeah. So, did you ever see Just the Way You Are with Christy McNichol?
Not only have I seen that movie, I told Christy McNichol when I met her a month before the pandemic, I said, I know you had a bad time making that movie, because she has bipolar disorder from it.
Yeah.
I watch that movie anytime I feel down about having a disability.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie. A friend of mine told me about it years ago, and I own it now, and I watch it like around this time of year. I don't think there's no Christmas scene in it, but it's winter and they're skiing, and so like it just reminds me of like this time of year, and I love that movie. Yeah,
I saw it for the first time when I was about 4. It was on HBO a lot back in the 80s. And I've loved it ever since. It's such an inspiring story. I mean, yeah, it's a little, disjointed because, half of it was shot in 1982. The other half was shot early 84 after she had recovered from, her breakdown and everything. But it's still a charming movie and she's so good in it,
Yeah, did you ever see The Other Side of the Mountain?
Oh, Beau Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that movie. That's kind of like well, she has her name's Jill Kinmont, and it's based on a true story. Mm-hmm. And I think her name's Marilyn Hassett that plays Jill, and that she is a person. I don't know whatever happened to her. But she is somebody I would love to meet. There's not many people left out there that I want to meet that I haven't met, but she'd be one of them. Because I remember when that movie came out at the movie theater, I saw it with my mom, and I bawled my head off at the end. It was so sad. It's like it's one of the saddest movies I've ever seen ever. I
gotta go back and watch it because it's been a long time.
Oh, it's so sad. She breaks her neck when she's skiing.
Yeah.
And Beau Bridges is like this big time. They call him Mad Dog, I think is his name in the movie. Yep. He's like this skier, and he's like real, like he does all these tricks and stuff. And him and her fall in love, and he likes her before she's in the accident, but she's like engaged to like another guy, and then he leaves her when she's injured, and then Beau Bridges comes after her. And like to help her, like to make her like not feel sorry for herself, and her best friend gets polio, and she's crippled in the movie too, and so it is sad.
That's Doogie Howser's mother.
That's Doogie Howser's mother?
Yeah, Belinda Montgomery.
Yeah. Oh my! I did not know that. Yeah. I never knew that. That's cool. That's cool trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and see that now because it's been a long time. How about Trading Places? I consider that Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, I love Trading Places. Yeah.
I did 2 repeat guests from it this Christmas for the 40th anniversary. I am so sad I haven't been able to get anybody for a Christmas Stories 40th because I've run the gamut with that one.
Oh yeah. We were out in Ohio and out in Cleveland, and I really wanted to go to the Christmas Story house. We just didn't have time to do that. But yeah, when that movie came out in the 80s, I hated Christmas Story. I hated it, and it's directed by Bob Clark that did, Black Christmas, So he did like the 2 movies, but they're so totally different. But then I don't know what happened. Like, because it played so much, it must have like just embedded into my brain that and then I loved it. And then I actually, I think last year we watched the new, like the sequel to it, with him being older, and I didn't mind it either. I didn't think it was bad. So.
I got some trivia for you. There was a scene that was cut. It was another fantasy scene where Ralphie is dreaming that he's Red Ryder, and he ends up in Flash Gordon. And Flash Gordon was played by a Canadian actor named Paul Hubbard, and I had him on last year. He told me he is so upset that he was cut from the movie, but he can't complain on the residuals he gets for that 24-hour marathon.
For real, like because he was in it, but even though he wasn't in a scene that was put in the actual movie, he still gets paid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a legal thing, and of course, some people don't abide by the law by doing that. That's why we had a SAG-AFTRA strike recently. But he gets a lot of residuals for it during the 24-hour marathon and beyond. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, oh my gosh, like if you were gonna, I thought you were gonna say Sam Jones was in it as Flash Gordon.
No.
And I was like, because I love him. I love Flash Gordon. I love Sam Jones. So yeah.
I met one of the sisters in Home Alone recently.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the sister who calls Kevin the laissez incompetent.
Oh. You know what? When I first saw Home Alone, I couldn't stand it either. And it's like, and then it grew on me too, and it's like, I don't know. Like when I first watched it, I thought, isn't funny, like to leave your child home alone, like, and you're in another country. Like I would have a heart attack, and it's like, and then I'm like this, but then what? I watched the whole making of Home Alone too, and I think they built like a set in like a gymnasium of a school, to do that. I don't know if you ever saw that, the how they made it, but
No.
Because I'm like at the end after that giant mess, I'm like, how on earth? This is so unreal. You know what I mean? It's like I just am like, it is such a movie. You know what I mean? Like the house burned to the ground. You know what I mean? Like, and he cleaned that up. Yeah. Okay. Him and the neighbor guy did it. So.
I remember my parents took me to see it a Christmas break of my second grade year, and the movie was like the number one hit of the holiday season. It was advertised everywhere, and we wanted to see it. We wanted to see what the fuss was all about, right? Now, we didn't realize at the time it was a John Hughes movie, but looking back, we could see the John Hughes sarcasm and humor and sharp dialogue, that it has now, but at the time, we're like, okay, it's the cute kid who sells this movie. It's mainly, this kind of mean-spirited yet heartwarming story about a kid left alone at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's really hard. I just watched a whole thing on this. They have on Tubi, they have this behind closed doors, I think it's called.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I watched it on the Breakfast Club, so it was all about John Hughes and then the making of the movie and how they got to be, how they picked the people for it, who was almost cast in that movie and all this stuff. And Molly Ringwald wanted to be Ali Sheedy's part and all this stuff. But then they were talking about, all his movies. And it's weird, like, because Home Alone doesn't seem to fit with, like, 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful and, all those 80s teen movies. Because then it goes to, like, he's getting younger. You know what I mean? Like,
it was a special teen movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. I just think that it is just magnificent. I know every line of dialogue from start to finish. I can quote it backwards. It's just one of my favorites. And you know what? They have deleted scenes on YouTube of the movie. Carl, the janitor, was a lot more mean-spirited in the movie. And in the editing process, John Hughes was like, you know what I realized? He's the only person who understands these kids, so I need to scale it back. There's a scene where he's roasting all of them and busting their balls and making fun of them, and that was cut out. And it was actually pretty funny the way John Kapelos delivered it, and I've had him on here twice.
Really?
Yeah. he had a love
You're talking
interest
about-
that was cut, and those scenes have been lost forever. And I interviewed an actress and screenwriter who actually played the love interest in the movie. Karen Hopkins is her name.
Hopkins or Copins?
Not Copins. I'm trying to get Copins on here, but Hopkins.
Oh, I love her.
But
I love Karen Copins.
Hopkins, she wrote "Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael" with Winona Ryder.
Oh, are you talking about the Breakfast Club? Are you talking that?
Yeah, she was cut. She was the love interest of Carl the janitor. She was the gym teacher, the female gym teacher.
Oh yes, yes. You know what? That was in the thing, and then yes, she got cut out. They said, you know why?
Yeah, why?
You know why? You know why? Because Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy went to John Hughes, and they said that this movie, because it had a nude scene in it with her in the swimming pool, okay,
right.
And like they were all kind of doing like a Porky's peeking in stuff,
yeah.
And they said, and they got him cornered him, and they said, we don't think that this needs to be in this movie, and that's how she got cut. Is those two girls didn't want her to do, they didn't want that part in there, and so he took it out, you know. So yeah, that's so weird because I just saw that like just a few nights ago, and then Rick Moranis was supposed to, I think,
yes.
he was supposed to be the janitor.
He's been fired from a couple of movies because he likes to improv, and those sets don't want improv.
Oh.
He was fired from The Breakfast Club and City Slickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I always think of him as in Bob and Doug McKenzie. That
of
in
course.
The Great White North album. Yeah, it's like that, and the 12 Days of Christmas. That is hilarious.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Do you ever hear them sing that?
I did see the 12 Days of Christmas a long time ago.
No. They sing the Bob and Doug McKenzie. They sing a song like the 12 Days of Christmas.
I never heard that rendition. I gotta go. I gotta go YouTube
God.
it.
Because like in a beer on my knee. You never heard him sing that? Yeah, it's like one, two. What's he sing? 2 pounds of back bacon.
Back bacon,
and then 3 turtlenecks, 4 French toast. 5 golden tubes. Yeah. So there's I love it. I mean,
I can't believe I never heard it. Wow.
You gotta look it up, and you should put it on. You should play it. Yeah, it should be your ending for this.
I can't do that because of copyright reasons.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I don't know how Patrick's always putting in some kind of something. I guess we just haven't got caught yet.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started there. But
okay.
Yeah, I saw an hour's worth of deleted scenes from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles recently, and Gary Riley, who played Dave in Summer School, Chainsaw and Dave. He goes into their hotel room and steals their money, and I found out why. He's the pizza guy, and he was cut out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Pizza guy. I just think of the pizza guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And Fast Times at Ridgemont High has it's Christmas. There's a Christmas scene in that.
Yes.
Too.
And that was Taylor Negron.
Yeah. He was friends with my friend Eddie Brill, that is a comedian that I'm friends with.
Yes, indeed. All the female comedians loved him because he was gay, he was non-threatening, and he was hilarious.
Yeah. My friend Eddie was really good friends with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Better Off Dead?
Better Off Dead. I just watched for the first time. Can you believe that?
Oh, that's right. I want to hear your reaction.
Okay, so I missed the first. I missed the beginning, but I knew he was trying to kill himself the whole way at the beginning because the big girl dumping him, and then he, with Diane Franklin, I knew I'd seen these clips and the kid going around going, give me my $2 and all that, but then and Diane Franklin, I met her and she had a friend of mine loved the movie and she put the coat on her from the movie and got her picture taken with the coat and stuff, but I wasn't sure about that movie but there was a lot of John Cusack movies during that time period that seemed very similar to that, know. And I just had watched Say Anything, and then Better Off Dead came on right after that. So it was like a double feature or something. So I ended up watching the end because I love the 2 songs in it by E.G. Daily. I love With a Little Luck, and I love the Better Off Dead,
One of my favorite people
love
I've
her.
ever met at a convention, by the way.
Is E.G. Daily?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Daily? Yeah. I love her in Valley Girl. And,
Oh, yeah. Hey, girls, we must
and
fuck him.
yeah, I love Valley Girl, even though, Deborah Foreman is such a goofball, but, it's like, I don't even think of, like, her anymore as, like, her as for who she is in real life to who she was in that movie. It's like, I love Valley Girl, but the whole skiing scene in Better Off Dead, like where they were like she was going down between his legs and like coming up and like they would do it like they were almost like dancing, and it
Yeah.
was really cool, and I thought, wow. I mean, and then he loses his one ski and then he has to come down on one leg like the whole way down to
Yeah.
the end. It was like
That
this
movie kills me. Curtis Armstrong, oh my God, he just steals the whole friggin' movie from me.
Well, I know that kid going, give me my $2. Like, cause I used to I had a paper route when I was a kid. And I used to have to go collecting money from people, and I could relate to that too. Cause
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, you're a pioneer, Lisa. I didn't know too many paper girls.
Yeah, I was. Me and my brother, But my brother, like, he'd throw people's, paper in the bushes, or like it would blow away, and he'd take a rock and stick it on their paper. He was like this horrible paper boy, and like everybody would quit, and then like we were down to like 6 people, I think, in the end. The guy that gave us our paper route, I think we started out with like 35, 40 people, but because my brother was and my brother did half, and I did the other half after school. So like that was our thing, but like what we might have made like $3 a week or something like that on it, but yeah, it wasn't much. But when we went collecting, people would give us like a tip and stuff too, and then they give us a tip at Christmas. And so I loved collecting at Christmas because like somebody might give me $2 or something for real, So yeah, that was cool.
One of the paper boys, Damian Slade, who played Frankie and Annette's son in Back to the Beach. I tried to get him on the podcast. I don't know what happened. Something snapped in his brain. But like Diane Franklin told me one of the many times we talked that she was going to be interviewing him for her book about Better Off Dead. I don't know. I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know if she actually got him. But yeah, he's strange.
Oh, that's the Paperboy kid? That's him?
Yeah, that's Damian Slade. Yeah, and then that the girl that Lane is fixed up with, who had the braces, and she's like really aggressive and mean. I interviewed her last year. She owns like a restaurant in L.A. now, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do you get to go to like do they have any, like, because you're out there in California, it's like, have you lived in California all your life?
I've been in California my whole life. I briefly lived in Arizona back in 2007. That was a disaster. It's too hot over there.
Yeah. Have you ever been like anywhere where you've had snow at Christmas?
Oh yeah, I mean up here in California in Redding, where I lived previously for 6 years, there was snow once a year.
Once a year, okay. Because like I know there's higher elevations, because I know there's people ski in places like maybe Big Bear, like that up in higher elevations, like going up, like up towards Oregon, like up at the top of California, maybe. But I didn't know which part. I knew you live in like the area of where like like near Los Angeles and stuff. Where are you?
I'm 8 hours away from LA. I'm in Modesto, which is the Bay Area, because I'm from San Mateo, which is also the Bay Area. So I'm just an hour and a half away.
Oh, okay. Because I wondered like if you bump into people or there's conventions out there, because I know you've been to so many things that you've met so many people, but I didn't know where you were going, like...
Well, yeah, because, let's see, I moved out of the Bay Area in 2017, went up to Redding. There was one convention there a year, but I never went to it because by the time I went to all the other conventions in the Bay Area or LA, I was broke, so I never got to go to that one. But, yeah, right now I'm living in Modesto, and there's no cons over here, but I still go to the Bay Area. I haven't been to LA in 4 years. I need to go next year.
Okay. Do you put up a Christmas tree and stuff like for Christmas?
Oh yeah, we got a Christmas tree, and I put up my black Christmas ornament.
Okay. Is it like at the top of your tree, like your angel in your tree? But
It's near the top, near it.
Is it? Okay, that's a cool item. Yeah, that's a cool thing. I would love to. Yeah, I would love to have a signed picture from that movie from her. If I can get a hold of her somehow to do that, that would be cool. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Better Off Dead, I consider it a Christmas movie because that Christmas scene where they're getting the TV dinners for Christmas, it's hilarious to me. Yeah, it's great, and I'm glad you finally saw it.
Yeah, I want to watch it again. Like I have it, I own it, I have it even on DVD, so I could watch it. You know, I might, maybe that's another one I'll get my son to watch with me, because we like to try and find like movies. That's like a thing too, that like it's a tradition, like that we like to watch movies at Christmas time and find ones we haven't seen before, or you know, and so like that would be a good one. Have to.
How about Ernest Saves Christmas? Do you like that?
I have that. I have it on, and I've seen that. Is that with the Easter Bunny guy in it too? Is that in this Christmas one, or is that a different one?
Well, at the end of the movie, the Easter Bunny's ears come out of that box.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I think because there's Ernest Goes to Camp, and there's like a Halloween Ernest, and then Ernest Save Christmas. I think there's that scene with the Easter Bunny that like, and he's that old guy that's in like, I've seen him in other movies. You know who I mean?
There's a Santa Claus?
No, I don't. Is he Santa Claus? He's like, I'm trying to think what other things I've seen him in. He's real goofy.
I'm completely stumped. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. In Ernest Save Christmas, there's this old guy. I swear he doesn't have any teeth, you know, and he's like real skinny, and he's real goofy, and I've seen him in other stuff. Now I'll have to Google it and look it up. But like,
well, the whole point.
Laughing my head off.
Well, the whole point of the story is that Santa Claus is trying to get this, actor to, take over for him.
Okay. All right. Because it's been, oh my God, it's been like, I probably haven't seen that movie in maybe 15 years.
And there's a teenage runaway, and I've interviewed her. That's Noelle Parker. Her brother, Corey Parker, was in so many great movies like Biloxi Blues and Big Man on Campus and stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah. I have to go through, like, I put like all my movies out, like like all my DVDs, like I have them on a shelf, and I put them all out so that people, if they're staying here, they can watch them. But like then I have that one. There's movies though that I kind of like think like, well, I have like While You Were Sleeping, and those are like newer movies, and but I think of that as a Christmas movie too, and I mean I have to, Young Blood, like there's movies that like take place at Christmas that you know what movie I love that I always watch at Christmas? It's Class with Rob Lowe. And,
I just got it on VHS because I love that movie, and I hadn't seen it in a while, and I had an actress in it an actress from it on the podcast recently.
Yeah, okay. So I think that there is, I think in the scene, I think this is what it's called. I think that I love the house in that movie when they're driving, and I think they call it September Farm or November Farm. I'm not sure. September or November, but I'm going to a place called September Farm tomorrow. So like I always think of that house was called that. Now I'm confused on if it was September or November, but they go back there. He takes Andrew McCarthy back home, for Christmas, and the house is all decorated. I love that house, so
nice.
That's a Christmas movie to me too, those kind of movies, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Class. Yeah, it's a snow movie for sure.
Yeah. I haven't watched it this year, so like I got to get on the ball here and get on the snowball. Get on the snowball.
Jacqueline Bisset was on a podcast recently. She said that she's always been embarrassed by that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like my favorite movie she's ever done.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she's a quote-unquote proper British actress, so that's why she's embarrassed.
Oh, well, I love that movie. It's like, I love the soundtrack to it. There's a song called Hiding from Love by Bryan Adams that's in the scene where he goes into the bar at the beginning and puts his foot through the stool in front of that girl. Okay. It's like that song. I had to try. I like soundtracks of movies.
Same here.
And I've got tons of them too. Like try and find the LP record of the soundtrack, they just don't make good soundtracks anymore to movies,
Yeah.
We should talk about that sometime. We should talk about movie soundtracks. That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. I love movie soundtracks, and I've been lucky to find, like, obscure people from certain movies for them. It's funny, next year, The Last Starfighter turns 40, and I've talked to, Catherine Mary Stewart's a good friend of mine, and I've talked to Lance Guest and so forth. I want to get the guy who does the music from it on here.
Okay, yeah, Catherine Mary Stewart. I love her. I met her.
Yeah.
People used to tell me I looked like her when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like in high school. And I went to see Mischief, the movie Mischief, on a date.
First time I ever saw a naked woman was Kelly Preston in that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was like one of the first date movies I ever went on a date to. First movie I ever went on a date on was Terror in the Aisles, and I think Mischief was like maybe fourth date, you know? So, and I love that movie, and I come out of that, and actually we had to take my boyfriend's younger sister with us, and his brother, and then her sister and her friend went with us to see it, and they kept saying to me, "Were you in that movie? That was you in that movie." And I was like, because they thought I looked like Catherine Mary Stewart in that movie.
Yeah.
So like, and then when we come out of the theater, they kept going over to everybody that come out and say, "Doesn't she look like the girl in that movie?" And I was like, kind of embarrassed, So I was like, but I had a shirt on that was like a shirt, and I had a headband on, too. It was the 80s, and I had like, it was pink and like blue and stuff, and it was kind of similar to like an outfit that she had on in the movies, but I didn't like plan it that way, but I think what I was wearing had something to do with it too. But I always liked her, and I got to meet her.
Yeah, she set me up with Ivan Roth from Night of the Comet, who plays the leader of the Stock Boys. I just had him on last week, and yeah, Kathy's been on 5 times. I just truly adore her. She's so down to earth and real.
So she is somebody I would love to talk to too. She is somebody I would love to interview her.
Oh yeah. Go seek her out. It's easy to get in touch with her on social media.
Okay, yeah, and I still want to talk to Jill Schlowen, and so
yes. I just texted her the other day. I said, "Hey, you want to nerd out with me on the podcast?" And she's like, "Yes, but after the holidays."
Okay. Well, then maybe I'll give. We're like done for this year, so like we'll go into next year, and it'll be our 5th season, I think, of it, and so I want to try getting into doing more interviews too with people, and I want to get Jill, and I would like to get Deborah Goodrich, and
yes,
And I know that Patrick just had. Did you see what he sent me for Christmas was Johnny Whitaker signs the Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
You mentioned Johnny Whitaker last time, yeah.
Yeah. So
I got to listen to that one.
Yeah. We haven't interviewed him yet, but he was Patrick's guest at his
festival.
Okay. Yeah. So so that's how he had him there in person, and so he got him to sign some stuff for me, and I'm like, I love Sigmund and the Sea Monster, so like that was cool, and he's in that movie Snowball Express where it's based on my uncle's life story, so that's a winter movie.
I had Sid Croft on earlier this year.
Did he just die?
No, Marty Croft died.
Marty did? Okay. I knew one of the Crofts did. Yeah.
Marty was 8 years younger and he died. How sad is that?
I know, it's just like, I was watching a thing about the Bee Gees last night, and Barry Gibb's the only one left of the Gibb brothers, and he's the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, last time you were on, we were talking about Mid-Atlantic. I'm curious, did you go last year?
No, that was the first time I ever went.
Okay, because an enemy of mine was hosting panels at last year's Mid-Atlantic.
A what?
An enemy of mine. A podcast host. And she
Your
didn't
nemesis?
host this year because she claims that her father died. She's always like changing her origin story in like every podcast she does. I just like she's very untrustworthy. So I was just curious to know if you went last year. That's all.
No, this was no, it was Patrick's idea, and I think it was just because of Nicholas Hammond, and he wasn't even there. He didn't even show up. So
Yeah, Nicholas is
I don't know what happened.
Nicholas is a strange, complicated guy because, I did the interview with him. He was great. He got a little testy at the end, and I didn't care because I was just in seventh heaven talking to him because I love that Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
after the interview, though, he like turned off his DM box on me and stopped following me, and I thought that was really weird.
His DM. What's that?
Direct message.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. So like he was on Facebook, and you could like
No,
send him a message.
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Oh, see, I don't do Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. I don't do Instagram. I'm just on Facebook. It takes over my life as it is. So yeah.
My friend Lori Jacobson was managing him not long afterwards. I don't know if she's still managing him because he's probably pretty complicated. But he was a nice guy and a good interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I went there. I did go to meet Zuzu, so like, that I could get something because she's in her, mid 80s, and
yeah,
she's probably like one of the last people left from that movie. So,
yeah, you know what's sad?
I don't know about the other kids, but
know what's sad? The teenage boy in Miracle on 34th Street, Alfred, he was the last surviving cast member. He died, I think, just when I was starting the podcast. And I could have, if he had lived maybe another year, I could have got him for the 70th or 60th. Was it the 60th? Oh, 70th anniversary of that movie. I could have. Jeez. Yeah.
Aw. I do like that movie. I gotta watch it too. I love it. Yeah, that's a classic, it's just kind of sad because Maureen O'Hara in it is beautiful. She my grandmother looked like her, when she was young. And
she was Irish.
Yeah, well, my grandma was Scottish, but I think Maureen O'Hara was Irish for sure, but but they had red like auburn hair and like just and her voice, and it's like they were very close in accents and stuff. But the whole thing of her telling her that there's no Santa Claus, is just sad, like that for the kid. But then, she meets him, so there is a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's pictures of me when I was a baby with Santa Claus somewhere. I
saw your picture on Facebook. Your first Christmas.
Well, there's one with me. Yeah. Well, there's that. There's one with me and the Easter Bunny. There's one with me and Sylvester at Great America and stuff.
Yeah.
Out there, they're so cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking my son to sit on Santa's lap at the mall. He never cried. Like, he was always so excited to talk to him and to tell him, like, what he wanted and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
He just, it was like you see all these kids and they're afraid of him and they're, like, peeing their pants and stuff, but my kid was, like, could hardly stand it. He's like, I got a list and I got to tell you. And, it's like, and he was just, like, just staring at him, like, just he was so excited, like to meet him, like Santa Claus is a celebrity, it's like he's like the biggest celebrity out there,
Yeah.
I mean, if he brings you, presents, I mean, nobody else gives you gifts that's famous, so
yeah,
so, he's the ultimate.
So your son's coming for Christmas tomorrow?
Yeah, but he's it's really hard for me to believe that he is in Sweden right now, in a whole other country, and he hasn't even gone to bed yet, and he hasn't got up yet and flown here, but by 4:30 tomorrow afternoon he'll be here. That's crazy,
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him since August, so I'm very hyper right now. Like, I'm very excited. Like, it's like starting to feel like Christmas because my son's coming home, and so now I'm getting into it. Like, and I'm really like I was on a kind of a bummer, but it's like without my mom and stuff. But my son's coming, so like that's what I'm focused on, and you know, you got to make it. You got to make the best of every day, let alone every holiday. So yeah.
My brother and my nephew are going to go see my young nephew and niece in the Bay Area, closer to the Bay Area because we're on the East Bay side, and me and my mom are going to stay home with our animals.
So I heard your dog. You have a dog in the background?
I do have a dog, but the dog's not in my room, probably barking from outside.
Oh, maybe it's Santa Claus. It's like, yeah.
She's just the most loving pup. I just love her. We've had her for 2 years now.
What kind of dog?
A little Chiweenie dog, I call her.
A Chiweenie?
Part Chihuahua, part weenie dog.
What's her name?
Abby.
Who named her?
I think my mom did.
Okay, because I'm like, I just thought it would be like some kind of, movie, the name of the character of your favorite movie or something.
I have never gotten to name any of our animals because they are just they're in a comfort zone with their names that they were given when they were given to us, so we just give them that. My cat's name is Cinnamon, but I call her Cinny Moo, and she's a loving cat.
Aww.
If you just let her be, she will come and love you.
Aw, this is my first Christmas without my cat too. So I'm not used to having cat at Christmas either. I'd stick a Christmas hat on my cat. It's like my cat was at least 21.
Yeah. How are you getting through the whole grieving thing at this time of year?
Well, I went up to my hometown like this past week, and I saw my brother, who I hadn't seen in before since my mom died, and so like that was good for me. It's like I needed to go back to where I came from. You know what I mean, and like be around people that knew me. Because that's 2 hours away from where I am now, so it's like I don't. Even though like I have a business here and people know me and I know people, but I just am not connected to these people. It's like and it's like we drove out to see the house that my grandpa lived in, and I just remember that was like going out there for Christmas was just like the best. And I'd stay out there and wrap presents and we'd watch old movies, and my grandpa had a big fireplace and his house was just beautiful, but my uncle owns it now, and so I didn't know if he was still there or not, and so I wanted him, if he was there, which I have not talked to him, I wanted him to let me in. It's like but I took pictures of it, and I was just standing up on the porch because there was nobody home, and looking out into the yard. It was very nostalgic, so I kind of like it felt like I got to go home for Christmas, so, and those are like that's the thing I miss the most about the holidays, or the people. And, it's sad. Like I went down to my other grandparents' house too, and it is just, my cousin owns it and nobody's living there, and it's all boarded up, and it's just, and it's sad because like they even had like, they had all the plastic, the Santa Claus and the reindeer and stuff in the front yard. And, my other grandpa used to be down in his basement making Christmas. He was like Santa Claus. He had a little workshop. It was like making things out of 2-liter Pepsi bottles and stuff, and like windmills and like or whatever, like those things that like and little reindeer and stuff. And he would make them. He'd be down there making them for all the kids and stuff, and it's like it's like gone, like it's just gone. And so like it's. And I can remember, like, even when I was a kid, like, going to see Santa Claus, we'd go to the Slovak Club in town, and my one grandpa would give us the strawberry soda, which was, like, the best, and then we'd get a paper bag, and it would have a popcorn ball in it that, like, you could probably kill somebody with it if you threw it at them, and it's like, and then hard as a rock, and you could bust all your teeth off on it. And then we would get like 2 Hershey miniature candies in it and a candy cane. Aww. But it was like the best, it was just simple, but it was like, we just, And then we would watch, Em and Audra's Jug Band Christmas, So
Oh, I did a 45th anniversary talk last year with Marilyn. God, what's her name? Who did the voice of the mother, the otter mother in it?
I was Alice Otter.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love her. It's like I love the song that they sing in it, and she's like, and she covering them up with a blanket when it's just her little baby. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I used to, my brother used to watch that, and the River Bottom Nightmare Band. They
Yeah.
come in. Have you seen it? And they're like, look at the birds up
Mm-hmm.
in the tree. And they're like, we're not birds, we're a junk band.
It's a
And
classic. It's.
yeah,
I heard Paul Williams say he thought that it was the best thing he ever did, and probably Jim Henson's finest achievement.
I love it. Yeah, it
I
was awesome.
you're older, but when I was 3, there was the Jim Henson Christmas toy special, and I used to watch it over and over again, even when it wasn't Christmas, and it would just bring tear to my eyes and just make me laugh as a kid. I love it. I think it may be on YouTube.
Yeah, Frosty was on the other night, and I was watching it, but I remember how traumatized I was as a kid when the magician locks him in the greenhouse and he melts. It's like I was just horrified. That he
Yeah,
kills him.
a guy wrote a book. A guy wrote a book about those Rankin and Bass Christmas specials.
Yeah, they were a little disturbing in some of them, but you know what? I love them because, and you know what, the Bumble, the abominable snowman, he used to scare me.
Yeah.
It's like as a kid, like I was so terrified of him.
Oh yeah.
It was creepy. Like when he showed up in the movies, it was like, oh, it was my favorite one, but it was like intense. It's like it was like when he showed up, like I was scared. I was and then I just remember, I think it's A Year Without a Santa Claus too, with
Oh
the Burgermeister, Meisterburger, and the Mr. Freeze, and they used to
yeah.
play that all the time. Yeah, those are good.
That was my
They're
mom's
good.
favorite because my uncle, who died 5 years before I was born, he loved A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Yeah, yeah. Those are. And then Burl Ives was like the snowman, I think, and he was like always the
Yes,
narrator.
Burl
Yeah.
Ives.
Yeah, those are like I've been playing. I bought John Denver's Rocky Mountain Christmas album,
Oh yeah,
and I've been playing it while I'm in here baking cookies and stuff, and
yeah.
it's like, and just the music and stuff is like nostalgic, and I think it's like, back then it was just such it was such a innocent time period. Even when there were slasher movies and horror movies and stuff, it wasn't. It was like there was just a different feel. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
the news and today is just worse than anything that we could have ever watched on TV. So it's like real life is terrifying, and what's happening, in this country is just so horrible that like we need to go back, and that's where like the innocence of Christmas and it being like this magical, time
Hmm.
period. It just seems very commercialized now, and I was thinking about that because I'm like thinking about it seems to be all about buying stuff and giving presents and stuff, but people used to make gifts and people didn't have money, and like it was just like no, like where I grew up, like we'd go out and find pine cones and make wreaths, by hand with them, and
Hmm.
it wasn't about buying somebody or exchanging gift cards. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like it was like you put thought into stuff, and you did things together. Like we had snowmobiles, and we had they were used, only like but like we would just go snow tubing and skiing. We'd sled ride. We'd build forts in our. That's why I wondered if you grew up with snow, because we would play outside all day long in the snow, and then
Yeah.
um, and then come in and eat some Campbell soup, for lunch. Like in
No, I didn't have snow till I was 35.
what's that?
I didn't have snow till I was 35.
Oh yeah. Well, if you get to Pennsylvania, you know where I'm at. You can figure me. You can come hang out. You
Oh
know.
God,
So
if a miracle can happen, I would go to Pennsylvania for Living Dead weekend.
Living Dead weekend, is that like at the mall or whatever? That the
Yeah, the
no. Oh
Monroe
no,
Mall
that's
twice a year. George Romero, convention slash festivals for whatever movies celebrate an anniversary or not. And yeah, I mean, so many of my guests do them there because they still live in Pittsburgh, and so
oh.
I would love to go and meet them. I have Dawn of the Dead
Do you,
VHSs and posters. I'd love them to sign.
those are your favorites. Did
Yeah.
you love Night of the Living Dead? You love that movie?
Yeah, I got the little girl Kyra Shone coming on soon.
Okay, because it took me all my life until I watched that movie once
Hmm.
because my uncle David had this book and it was all these it was like a horror book of pictures of like the monster movies and it had like the werewolf and stuff, but it had the pictures of Night of the Living Dead, like, and they were black and white and they were like pictures of people eating like somebody's organs,
Yeah.
and it was like, and it was so gruesome looking, and it was like I saw that in a book as a kid and I was like, oh my god, I can't ever watch that movie. Ew, to see that like for really really happening. I thought, I can't. It was and it's funny because I was talking to my brother. My brother's like a fireman and stuff, but like we were talking about, he was saying how his kids are trying to get him to watch it and he won't watch it. It scares him, and so I was saying about all the movies that when we watched as kids that traumatized him, like the movie The Legacy with Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross is in it, his wife. I
Yeah.
mean, my brother wouldn't go underwater in a swimming pool for like the rest. He still, I don't know if he still will, but we were just talking about how some movies like are so like, sometimes just even the thought of them scare you, and so it was like that with Salem's Lot for me, but Night of the Living Dead too. And then I finally watched it one night and it was in the fall and I just remember, I thought if I can't watch this, I have to have somebody. I'm going to run out of the room or something. It's like I'm
Hmm.
not even going to be able to like turn it off because I'm going to be like paralyzed. But I watched it and it was really good. It's like it was a good movie,
Prancer's a
but it
good
was
movie.
good.
Yeah.
But I thought since I'm an adult watching it, now, that and not a kid, that I would be able to like, I'd be like, oh, it's a movie. It was a scary movie. Like it
Hmm.
was scary.
Yep.
And I think it's because it was so low budget, that it seemed really real. You know what I mean? It seemed very realistic because of, they didn't have like all the effects. And it was black and white.
Oh,
So,
here's a Christmas movie that I could recommend. Oh God, Here Comes Santa Claus. It's a French Canadian movie from 1985, and actually, it was shot in the 70s, but it came out on video in 1985 on New World Home Video. And it's about this kid who wants to be reunited with. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to watch it. I haven't watched it in a while. His grandfather or his father, and he goes on a little pilgrimage to find him, in the snow and everything. And it's a cute little movie. It's overdubbed in English, of course.
that made me think of, okay, one movie I watch every year. It's called Three Wishes for Cinderella,
Uh huh.
and it is like, I mean, the woman that was in it, I would have loved to have met her, and I looked her up, and I think she just died last year, but
Oh.
it's like she's Cinderella, but it takes place like Christmas time because it's all like, and I think it's like was filmed in like Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia or someplace like that. And it's just beautiful. Like, and it's like the scenery. There's like a castle in it, and the guy that plays the prince, I thought he was so cute, and she's a Cinderella, and
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember that from when I was a kid, like watching it, and I just remember like she gets these three acorns, and the three acorns, like she can make a wish for them, and they pop open and they turn into an outfit. Like the first one, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like one of them's her dress. And she's got this owl, this real owl that's like she talks to the owl, and an owl's like magic, and I think the owl's what makes her
What's it called?
make Three Wishes for Cinderella.
No, but I've never seen it.
Never seen. I love that movie. I have it on DVD, and it's dubbed too. Like you have to read all the words to it,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see if I could try finding it in English, but I'm so used to like it that I know it word for word, but in their language. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even though I don't know the language, but it's like I've watched it so many times. But I was so sad. It was so sad to me, like to see that she died, because she was only, I think, in her late 60s. This
Yeah.
come out in the 70s. This movie.
I got a couple jokes for you.
Okay. Okay.
Why did Frosty have a smile on his face?
I don't know.
He saw the snowblower.
Okay, I knew it was going to be something to that. I knew it was going to be something like that. I was like, someone grabbed his carrot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Someone touched the carrot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why are Christmas trees better than men?
I don't know.
Even the smaller ones give satisfaction.
Okay. I was like, they don't drink as much wine.
Yeah. Lisa, I love you. Thanks for coming back. And yes, next time we got to do the soundtrack talk.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
everybody
to you.
And thanks for having me again.
And Happy New Year, and be safe. And yes, I just hope, even in this horrible time, and even with what's happened to you this year, you can enjoy this holiday season.
Yep, I'm that's what I'm doing. It'll all change tomorrow. Things will be perking up. Yep. Thanks so much, Tommy.
Absolutely.
Hey. Right.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Lisa Everetts. Ain't she a sweetheart? I just love talking to her. She's just a ball of energy, and she's so smart, and even with stuff she hasn't seen, she knows her shit. So I love talking to Lisa, and I wish her a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!